ground, wiggling his finger.
We were talking about one with, some fella who's stuck in the ground or something.
This is a motif I noticed in your particular favourite ones.
Yeah.
Right?
People stuck in the ground. Go on.
Right, so
It's a fella, is it?
Yeah, a fella stuck. Now, I seem to remember it just being his foot, to be honest, being stuck in a hole. And
No, he was under the ground and he got a little thing out of the pavement and he put his finger up and wiggled it to try and attract attention. Then you see a woman come along and her stiletto heel just knocks his finger off.
You see, I'm wondering whether it's the same one as I saw.
Yeah, it could be two like that, couldn't there?
They were running out of ideas by the last series.
It's a big theme in Hollywood.
Or, what was that one you told me about with the porn? That was a good one.
Oh, this was fantastic, right? Right. There was this,
Sorry, can I just check now? We're just remembering classic episodes of the Tales of
No,
Unexpected
this is important. Well, I saw one, right? I saw one, on Tales of Unexpected, right? And it was, these two gents, what they used to do, they look down the obituaries and they'd blackmail, the wife or the son of a dead eminent person, like might be a priest or a doctor, like that, and they'd go and they'd say, he bought some, erotic, stuff from us, before he died, and he owes, 100 guineas and all this sort of stuff. And they'd pay up because it'd be so embarrassing. They just didn't want them to say, just pay him, right? And this one bloke said, who are these people? I'll meet with them. And he goes round there, and he goes round, and, they go, your father, he goes, my father could not have bought any erotic material from you. They did it, he goes, he couldn't have, he's blind. Right, and that was the twist. And Carl went, so it was magazines, not videos then.
Yeah. Now think about it, Steve. Is that so stupid?
Well, presumably it was set in olden times because people, professional pornographers don't tend to call it, you know, erotic material.
Yeah.
They tend to call it, you know, juicy jugs or whatever. But more than that, I don't understand how a video is going to be any use to a blind person either. I know that you can hear the sound, Carl. Look at him nodding like he's caught me out.
Yeah, what sound will you hear? Do 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 do. Your meter needs looking at? Yes. Cut. What's then? What's that? Then it's just noises, isn't
Occasional
it?
groans.
Yeah.
Right.
You could listen through the wall at your neighbours.
He does.
I mean, that's why I save a lot of money. But I thought you were going to point out, Carl, that they could have had a Braille porno. Now, have you thought of that?
Look, feel the lumps on that.
Exactly. Think about it, Carl.
Think about it.
You're excited now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your girlfriend's away, Carl.
Yeah, the cheese grate has only entered the cupboard.
No, she's a good-looking lady.
Yeah.
Next, we've got, White Van Carl.
Oh, excellent. Star Sailor, poor, misguided fool. Well, it's time. Well,
go on.
That time, isn't it?
Yeah. Play the jingle.
Yeah. White Van Man, Carl.
Brilliant. Recorded at great expense, that jingle.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is where we just, hijack an idea from The Sun, which is, White Van Man, where The Sun asks, in this instance, a cabbie by the look of it. Oh no, a fruit and veg shop owner.
Ours is slightly different because the Sun sort of like, pick on a perfectly normal member of the public.
Exactly.
So that's where we've got the
the upper hand.
Yeah.
And, they ask him about the, you know, the hot potatoes. This week, Carl, my first question to you, well, your thoughts, please, on the criticism of the BBC over their coverage of the Queen Mum's death. What do you make of this? You're aware of all the criticism that Peter Sissons asked some probing questions?
No, I thought it
wore
was
a burgundy tie.
I thought, that's it, yeah, he just had it didn't show respect, he just had a burgundy tie on.
See, that's not really not showing respect, is it?
No, it's not.
You know, you show your respect by sort of doing the news on it, giving her a bit of coverage, and showing, you know,
bit of publicity.
what a good woman she was or whatever.
Yeah.
And then you move on to sport news or whatever. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I totally agree.
I don't like the way everything's morbid. I was thinking about it. It's like, you know, the way in birthday cards and that, people always put funny things in them. I think you should save things like that for funerals, for like funeral cards and that, and try and cheer people up at times when they're low. Do you know what I mean? Because on your birthday you're quite happy anyway, so you don't need someone putting a funny comment in a card. I think, you know, when you send a card...
What would you suggest?
Well, you know,
whoopee cushion, but on the vicar's chair, what How would you liven up
during
a
the
funeral?
sermon.
Just little things in the card. I mean, you're just writing stuff like, well, you know, at least you're still alive or whatever.
So as you're giving the eulogy...
So, that'd be good. So suppose someone's husband's killed in a car crash, you go around with some flowers and a little card, and it says, "At least you're still alive."
Well, maybe something funnier than that.
Well, maybe, like, if you got up to give the eulogy during a funeral, just wear a pair of comedy tits.
Yeah, or those glasses that are eyes on sort of
Yeah.
springs.
But why has everyone got to be so sad
I
about
agree.
someone dying?
No, what annoys me is that when you see the people on television, they sort of members of the public, and they're crying about the Queen Mother, who was sad when anyone dies, sad when anyone nan dies. She was 102, and I mean, it's sort of like I think they should cry.
Well, there's a picture in the paper
I
today.
don't understand it.
There's a picture in the paper today of various people who were lining the the funeral kind of route
Yeah.
yesterday, and there's a picture of a very young child, maybe sort of 5 or 6, on the arms of her dad, and her head bowed, and it says a young girl there weeps for the Queen Mother. And I was looking at it, and you can tell she's just tired.
Well,
she's just tired and
why
bored.
would
It's
she
so
cry?
transparent that it's not crying. It's
Most
just
people
what are
don't
we
cry
doing
when their
here?
nan dies.
Exactly.
You know, it's sort of like.
But what is a 5-year-old girl going to be? Why is she going to be crying? The Queen Mum said, "Oh, I can't believe it."
Yeah.
Teletubbies? No, the Queen Mum. Oh, not the tweenies. No, it's on in a minute.
Yeah.
It's just like.
Oh
Right.
dear.
I mean, I know. I'm sure, I don't know much about her. I don't know if she was a great woman, and obviously, it's always sad when someone dies. But it's like, it's interesting that there was a lot of tourists in that long line of people that are now queuing for hours upon hours to see her dying in state. Because it's clearly just people who want to be a part of
Must be
history.
gutting if you're over from Sweden and you find out that the Queen Mum's died.
Oh, you must be devastated.
You probably don't want to carry on with your visit.
Exactly.
Really.
Okay, listen, Carl.
I think we've covered that.
What do you make of the? What do you make of the first genetically modified baby?
Oh.
Are you worried about this?
Do you know what did they do? What?
Let me see what it says here. It
Well,
says,
isn't it just choosing the eye colour?
Well, this is the concern, isn't it? That in the future you'll be able to decide whether it's a boy or a girl, how intelligent it is, what it looks like, is it handsome, is it ugly? Obviously, no one will choose an ugly baby, and so on and so on and so on. And so it means that where will it lead? Where will it end, Carl? Are you concerned?
I've thought about this a lot.
What will us three look like in the future if they're being, genetically modified beautiful people? What will we be like? How will we be considered in society?
True, yeah. But we've talked about this before, haven't we? About the cloning thing.
Yeah.
That's a bit weird.
Yeah.
But I don't think it matters, because at the end of the day, right, you might look like some other kid, but it's the way you're brought up that will change your features and the way you are, your personality.
If you lie, you get a long nose, don't you?
Well, no, but listen, right, because I remember when we, I was growing up on this estate.
This is going to be good. Go on.
No, it's not. It's just an example of how this doesn't work.
Go on.
So we don't need to worry, sort of thing.
Sure.
Right?
Okay.
So I'm growing up on this estate, and there was this woman about 4 houses down, right, who's a bit rough. All right.
Didn't fancy her.
Oh God, no. Right, but she had a
Why?
baby.
Well, tell me about her first. I'm interested in this woman. Why was she?
It was a very.
So like a man in a dress.
I mean, I didn't grow up in a posh house or anything, and I'm not saying that if you live in a bit of a rough house, you're a bad person.
What did she look like?
But anyone can
Tattoos?
clean up.
Looked like Tony Green with a fag on.
They didn't clean up much, right?
Oh.
Which, even if you've not got a lot of money, you can still try and make a place look nice.
Yeah.
Right? But she didn't, and a kid used to take a horse into the house.
Sorry.
Whoa,
Yeah. Whoa, Neddy. What do you mean a kid used to take a horse into the house? Where did they get a horse?
Must have nicked it from somewhere. Must have done.
You've seen a horse in it? No.
What, is that from outside the saloon round the corner?
Yeah, was it just tied up with a bit of...
Right? And,
oh, that's great.
I'd
Did
been
Big
out.
Jake come looking for it?
I'd been out.
Oh.
Nicked
Right,
away.
sorry, let me get this. This was before the lynching stopped or after?
Where did he get a horse from? What do you mean he must have nicked it? His mum said, where'd you get that from? I bought it. All right, then. But keep it out the kitchen.
I don't want you going Catlin rustling.
Oh, where did he get a horse from, Carl? And how long did he have it for? Was he leading it or riding it? Mum, open the door, I can't stop!
I can't stop it. Open the patio door as well,
Looks like we got us a runaway. What do you mean?
I don't know, but the thing is, they couldn't afford to buy one because they're not cheap. So I'm just guessing. Maybe that's wrong of me. But I think...
He had a horse?
Yeah, right. So
That's why the family didn't have any money, they'd spend it on the horse.
No, I don't
Exactly.
think, that's what I'm saying. I don't think they would have bought it. So anyway...
Yeah, it's wise to whisper, Carl, in case they're listening.
Yeah, and
They could be in the room next door.
It's not buying it, it's keeping it as well. Oh,
So I was like in the car with my dad coming into the avenue, and you used to have to drive down it to turn round. And,
Yeah.
and, you know, sort of go back to our house.
You had the traditional method of transport. Yeah.
And, the horse was in the lounge.
Reading a paper.
Just like walking around.
Oh, God!
And when I was doing